The Trailblazers of Ohio Christian, located in Circleville, Ohio, come to tonight's matchup with a record of 0 wins and 0 losses. It's their LTU first game of the season. Here are their starters: a 5'3" junior guard, number 3, Carolyn Cox; a 5'8" junior guard, number 10, Stacy Dinsmore; 5'9" freshman forward, number 11, Maddie O'Connell; 6-foot freshman senior, number 13, Katie Thompson. Rounding out their starter with a 5'8" freshman guard, number 23, Alana Lamas. The Trailblazers are under the leadership of Brenda Baker in her second season. Her assistants are Teresa Warner, Nikki Merschner, Stacy Ritter, Ashley Schreck, and Chantel Parsons. Your Blue Devils come to tonight's matchup with the season ranking of 21st in the latest NAIA Top 25 coaches poll, and in their early record of 0 wins and 0 losses since their home opener. Here are their starters: 5'8" sophomore guard from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 3, Taryn Klein; a 5'11" junior forward from East Lansing, Michigan, number 32, Danielle Hansen; a 5'8" junior guard from Holly, Michigan, number 2, Caitlin Smith; the senior, a 5'5" point guard from Oxford, Michigan, number 15, Sherilyn Bannis; and rounding out your starters is the 5'10" senior guard from Saginaw, Michigan, number 34, Nicole Buckingham. Your Blue Devils are under the leadership of Kylie Gibbs in her third season. Her assistants are Kaylee Patton, Zach Johnson, special assistants Olivia Lidd. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for some Blue Devil basketball.
Welcome into LTSN and welcome back to basketball inside of Don Ritter Fieldhouse. The Blue Devils under Sherilyn Bannis getting the first bucket of the season there, back at home. And we are back underway with Ohio Christian in town. The third year for head coach Kylie Spiegel, and probably the most highly anticipated of her tenure. Caitlin Smith, Taryn Klein, Sherilyn Bannis, Danielle Hansen, Nicole Buckingham, the 5 on the floor for the Blue Devils: Cox, Dinsmore, O'Connell, Thompson, and Lemus on the floor for Ohio Christian. I'm Jason Ross Jr., producer Kia Titus behind the screens tonight. Ali Hadi running the camera. It's a pleasure to have you back here, and a pleasure for basketball season to finally be back. The Blue Devils coming off a program record 25 wins a season ago as Nicole Buckingham finds Caitlin Smith there. The senior to junior connection. Blue Devils up 4-0. Kylie Spiegel has spoken about the excitement of this season. Blue Devils finally back on the home floor, this home floor that treated them so well a season ago, going 12-4 here an Ohio Christian team under head coach Brenda Baker. They've said there's nowhere to go but up after going 1-16 in the River States Association Conference last season. Pulling up there is O'Connell, and knocking it down is O'Connell, the freshman from Pickerton, Ohio, with her first collegiate bucket to get the Trailblazers on the board. First ever meeting between these two teams. Caitlin Smith looking to continue a hot start. Couldn't, but a rebound from Hansen. Danielle Hansen, such an integral part of this team's success a season ago. Blue Devils averaged 71 points last year. Excellent defense and leadership. Bannis was taken to the hole there, that time by Caroline Cox, a player who is a leader on this Ohio Christian team. Player that they'll definitely need to raise her game if this Ohio Christian team would like to see some success in a very difficult River States Association conferences. There's Nicole Buckingham, the 1,000-point scorer, and eclipsed that 1,000-point mark in her career last season. Came into tonight with 1,280 points in her career. Led this Blue Devil team in scoring last season. Defending O'Connell there. There's a long three coming off the wrist of Stacy Dinsmore, a guard that led the Trailblazers in scoring last year. Rushing out the other way was Taryn Klein. Couldn't finish, and will go back the other way for Ohio Christian.
Fouls on number 15, Sherilyn Bannis.
Caroline Cox, the junior guard from Chillicothe, Ohio. Back up top, it goes to Dinsmore. Driving and getting fouled is Katie Thompson. We'll see our first free throws of the night.
Fouls on LTU, number 32.
Our first of 15 women's basketball broadcasts this season. First of 27 total regular season games in our package that we'll have for you on the LTU Athletics YouTube channel and Facebook page this season, as Thompson is off on the first free throw, and Hope Dollaride will check back in. Hope looked really good in warm-ups. Junior from Dorr, Michigan. Here's the second free throw, off the mark, and going 0 for 2 there, but getting her own rebound and finishing it and giving herself another chance. Katie Thompson.
Number 13, Katie Thompson. At the line, shoot one. Foul number 4, Hope Dollaride, her first.
Dollaride able to secure the board on the second time around as Thompson missed all 3 of those free throw attempts. Blue Devils still up 2, 8-6 here in the opening quarter.
Her first.
And now Coach Biggs' team will head the other way. An offense that averaged 71 points last season. Taryn Klein inserted into the starting lineup this year. We'll see if that will become a consistent as freshman Kendall Fisher makes her way in. The lone newcomer on the Blue Devil team. They turn it over there. It'll be interesting to see what kind of role she can expand into. Coach Kylene Biggs 2-0 in season openers for Lawrence Tech in her 3rd season. And a nice little step back off a screen there. The shot from Dinsmore is off the mark. Foul down low, and the Blue Devils will get the ball back here. The Blue Devil men opened up their season with a win a couple of nights ago. The women looking to do the same as Buckingham draws the foul. Will they call this on the floor? No buck. What will they say here? They're going to put it on the floor. Yep, no bucket. Blue Devils still up 8-6.
Foul issued to number 13, Katie Thompson, her second.
Thompson's second, so she'll head to the bench earlier than she wanted to. Jumper is off the mark, and Helena Lemus, freshman from Medina, Ohio, will dribble it back the other way, watched by Klein. Cox calling for it. Keeping it here is O'Connell. Cox finds it, pulls it, couldn't hit it. Now the speed of Kendall Fisher. Here's the freshman, barreling down and fouled. A quick entry into the game for the freshman from Indianapolis, Indiana. One of two Indiana natives on this team. Could have a big role for herself coming in for Bannis off the bench. Could be a pivotal role for this team as Taryn Klein gets her first bucket of the season. Had an impressive freshman year. Now in her sophomore year, a streaky shooter as Buckingham nearly gets in the passing lane there. O'Connell. O'Connell off to a nice start. 4 of Ohio Christian's first 8 points. Bannis and Fisher both on the floor at the moment. Buckingham pulls it. This was a team, a Blue Devil team that had some really good rebounding guards last year. You wonder how, though, they'll make up for the loss of Haley Walkowski. Such a versatile player. Player that could do just about everything and fill up the stat sheet, play just about every position. Leadership, led by example. Klein finds herself open and knocks it down. That's the streaky shooter that we just mentioned a moment ago. The 3 signs are up from the Blue Devil fans who have shown up well. A nice student section filling in for the season opener and the home opener tonight. Here's Cox looking, found some space momentarily. Dollaride closed pretty well, but Cox finds the shooter's roll. 13-10 start to this one, a nice tight start. Both teams shooting the ball well early on. And a foul called here. 6 for 10 start for Lawrence Tech, a 5 for 8 start for Ohio Christian.
Into the game for the Blue Devils, number 2, Caitlin Smith.
Caitlin Smith makes her way back in. Started this one. Taryn Klein heads out. There's the 2-sport athlete and point guard CJ Bannis, also plays softball. She'll need to play a key role for this Blue Devil team. She spoke to our LTSN team a couple of days ago after practice and said that for the seniors, as Fisher gets her first career bucket, Bannis said the seniors are really putting an emphasis on winning conference this year and getting an outright bid to that national tournament that the Blue Devils made a season ago. In Sioux City, Iowa, first round loss to Hastings College wrapped up the season after a very, very impressive and to most unexpected regular season. Saw them go 16-4 in the conference, 25-7 overall. They were picked 6th in the conference a season ago, ended up finishing 2nd behind Indiana Tech. At the free throw line here is Helena Lemus, guard from Cloverfield High School, and Taryn Klein quickly makes her way back in for Bannis. Bannis and Buckingham, the aforementioned seniors on this team. 15-12 now, the Blue Devil lead with just over 3 to play in the opening quarter. Nice cut from Fisher, had to kind of look behind to handle it. Buckingham off the mark. Ohio Christian wants to push the pace this year. They're looking to do that here. Blue Devils do a nice job of getting back. Cox, a jump pass into the corner here for O'Connell. Nice pressure being applied defensively. A nice box out from Dollaride, and Klein comes away with the rebound. Ohio Christian had hit 5 of their last 7 field goal attempts to that point. Buckingham will trigger. Off the mark. Fisher, an easy board, racing out to the 3-point line. No box out, and she pulls up and hits the jumper. A nice start to the career of Kendall Fisher here at Lawrence Tech. The new number 12 for the Blue Devils, filling some big shoes wearing that number 12. A 5'2" guard. It'll be interesting to see how much point guard she plays versus shooting guard this year. As a turnover here, we'll give it back to the Blue Devils, looking to spark a bit of momentum now.
Foul issued, number 33, Bethany Conrad.
Foul went against Conrad. Now here's Fisher bringing it up the floor. Klein, show and go! Crowd loved it, couldn't quite finish it. And the blue ball will go back the other way to the Trailblazers.
Foul issued to number 3, Terry Klein. At the line, shooting 1-1, number 3.
In the bonus now are the Trailblazers, and Cox a chance to cut the lead down to 3. Getting into the latter stages of this opening quarter of the season here on LTSN. We'll have all 15 home games right here. You can tune in on the LTU Athletics YouTube channel and the LTU Athletics Facebook page if you can't make it to the game. Highlights of this one coming up on Fox Sports Detroit next Monday at 4:30 on our LTU Sports Report. That'll air every Monday. You can catch that on YouTube as well, along with Facebook. Plenty of coverage of this highly anticipated season will come throughout the year as Buckingham finds herself open. And a foul called, looks like, against Dollaride.
Foul on number 4.
Rachel Price getting set to check in.
At the line, shooting 2, number 33, Bethany Conrad.
Price was such a good rebounder for this Blue Devil team last season. It was really fun to watch. They almost kind of ran through the offense through her at times based off of her rebounding ability, keeping possessions alive. On the floor here, Ohio Christian has struggled at the line. They could have the lead right now if they had knocked down a few more free throws, as Caitlin Smith off on the jumper, and here's the pace again coming from Ohio Christian, and Stacy Dinsmore taking it all the way by herself off the window again, and we're tied up at 17. Brenda Baker's team looking to improve off of last year. They got off to a really nice start last year, ended up finishing with a 7-21 record, but started the year 6-1, 4-0. Had some really nice non-conference victories. Caitlin Smith tries again. Second straight position with a missed look from downtown. And now Dinsmore will set up the offense. LTU got off to a nice start themselves, picking up a signature win over the University of Detroit Mercy Division I at Detroit Mercy. A couple of other big non-conference wins. Went 2-0 in this Blue Devil Classic that's getting underway. Jumper is off the mark. Shot clock is off for Buckingham. And the Blue Devils, they lost it. Back come the Trailblazers with under 15 seconds. It's O'Connell, watched by Buckingham, with 5. Cox off the mark, and we're knotted up after 1 here on LTSN, your home for LTU women's basketball. The season opener, a fun start to this one, airtight. We're locked up at 17. We'll be back in just over 60 seconds on LTSN.
At the end of the first quarter, your Blue Devils 17, Ohio Christian
Welcome back into LTSN. Second quarter of action getting underway here from Don Riddler Fieldhouse. I'm Jason Ross Jr. Our crew getting this season underway. Couldn't wait for this one. Head coach Kylene Biggs, Kaylee Patton, Zach Johnson, the new addition to this coaching staff, as Fisher is blocked by O'Connell. A nice start for this Ohio Christian team, recovering after a bit of a Blue Devil run in that first quarter. Here is O'Connell. Back comes Bannis. Caitlin Smith, she was off on her last two, couldn't connect there, but the rebounding that we detailed in the first quarter from Price gets the Blue Devils their lead back. The denial, but then Ohio Christian gets it back, and to the cup goes Dinsmore, the leading scorer for the Trailblazers last season. Will have a chance at one more. Her fourth point of the night. Cox led the way in the first quarter for the Trailblazers, who shot 45% in that opening quarter. Knocked down the free throw, and Ohio Christian has taken the lead. Their first of the night. Fisher. High hop off the iron, pulled down. And foul called on Bannis under the rim in the subsequent rebound.
Foul number 15,
could we have a tight one in store for us tonight? Blue Devils will implement what looks like a full court press here. They'll fall back a bit, but Buckingham picks up at half court on Cox. Head coach Brenda Baker for the Trailblazers in her first full season as head coach after a short stint as interim last season. She's been with this program a while though, 8 seasons total. As an assistant. Relatively young and revamped coaching staff for Ohio Christian. A turnover there. Blue Devils feasted off of turnovers a season ago as Buckingham gallops, finishes, and was fouled. The NAIA All-American honorable mention from a season ago. Multiple WAC Player of the Week honors.
number 3, Marilyn Cox, her second.
And she'll have a chance at one more here. Shot 75% at the line last season. Had 18 in that first round loss to Hastings College a season ago that wrapped up the year. Slow starts had been an issue at times for LTU last season. That was one of the few dark spots of that year as they get another turnover here that's forced, and it's a 2-on-1 with Klein and Buckingham, and another bucket for Nicole. In and out from Cox, went barreling her way into the paints, and the charge was called. Klein leaving her body out on the line there, and head coach Kylene Biggs will like that one. Third foul on Cox here already. That's big for Ohio Christian with 7:36 to play in the opening half. One of their key players, one of their vocal leaders, one of the juniors on this team that only has one senior, Emily Carmen. Her and Dinsmore will have quite the role for the Trailblazers. Nice pirouette from Fisher. Couldn't quite put the bow on it. That was nifty. And a glimpse of what we could see all season long. That one gave me chills. The fans loved it. And back come the Blazers. Lemus. Lemus turning, fighting up a shot that was blocked that time by the long arms of Price. And looks like Buckingham was fouled on the floor there. She was 23-20 LTU, 6:47 to play here in the second quarter of action. Referee at the scores table momentarily here. So we're back underway. Klein will get the offense going underway. And now she'll trigger a jumper and knock down a jumper. That's a pretty jumper that Taryn Klein has, the sophomore from Indiana. She's got 8 points now, leading the way for LTU. This Blue Devil team that is picked second in the conference behind Indiana Tech. That'll be a matchup to watch this year in the WAC. When that one rolls around, a couple of matchups between those teams is Carmen is called for a travel, the lone senior on this Ohio Christian team. Those Indiana Tech matchups, number 1 and number 2, those will come on December 1st here at Don Riddler Fieldhouse and January 19th down in the hometown of Taryn Klein, Fort Wayne, Indiana. And here is Klein, pressured and trapped and tied up. Looks like they're going to call a foul here. Actually, prior to the tie-up. Foul charged against Lemus. So with a 6-point lead, here's Kendall Fisher. Land golf in the game now for LTU, along with Klein, Buckingham, and Price. Looks like Fisher was charged that time with a push-off. Or are they going to call a violation on Price? Yep. One more correction on that foul. They called it on Buckingham, actually, as Fisher comes away with the strip. Third steal of the night for LTU. Now they look to push. Klein in rhythm. Couldn't get the roll. Fisher soars in at 5-2 on the board and is fouled. Activity up and down the floor that time from Fisher sparked that run with the steal and already showing a glimpse of what kind of player she could become in the blue and white over the next 4 years.
At the line, shooting 2, number 12, Kendall Fisher.
Fisher's played 14 minutes off the bench in her Blue Devil debut. Knocks down the first of 2 free throws there before a timeout is called. 27-20 your score. Timeout called by Brenda Baker. Home opener, season opener. Blue Devil Classic here on LTSN, your home for Blue Devil Athletics. So 28-20 now after Fisher goes 2 for 2 at the line there. O'Connell got off to a nice start in this game. Dinsmore did as well. The Blue Devils continue to jump in the passing lanes. It was Buckingham that time. Fisher will push, Landgolf will shoot, and Landgolf will hit. First points of the season for Emily Landgolf. And an aesthetically pleasing push up the floor there. Feasting off of turnovers are the Blue Devils in getting this crowd involved. A foul down low there. And it'll be an inbound coming from under the basket from O'Connell. Looks like that was the second on Klein. O'Connell works against Landgolf, and Landgolf forces the travel as this Trailblazer team, after some brilliant resiliency was showed in that opening period, they've begun to fade a bit, unraveling in terms of turning the ball over as Fisher knocks down another. And the crowd loves it. It's a 14-point Blue Devil lead. Kendall Fisher's family in attendance tonight. They're loving it. And she is leading the way for this Blue Devil team right now with 9 points. The freshman in her debut out of Fort Wayne. An air ball. Here's Fisher again. Bounces to Landgolf. The lay-in. This is getting pretty fun now. 16-point Blue Devil lead here in the second quarter. A 15-0 run. They've knocked down their last 6. And it's a scoring drought of almost 6 minutes for this Trailblazer team. Looking to end that at the free throw line here will be Lemus, who started this game for the Trailblazers. Lemus, Thompson, O'Connell, Stacy Dinsmore out on the floor right now for Ohio Christian. At the scores table checking in will be Caitlin Smith, Taryn Klein. Kendall Fisher, Buckingham, Landgolf, and Price out there right now as Price gets the rebound on the free throw attempts that were 1 for 2. Here's Buckingham in transition, crossing and finishing. Buckingham. She's got 3 assists to go along with a really nice start to this one. 8 points as well. Carving her way into the lane there. There's Katie Thompson.
Into the game for Ohio Christian, number 33, Bethany Conrad.
Bethany Conrad makes her way in for Ohio Christian. Fisher, she's in rhythm. Off the window and in. Fisher putting on a show in her LTU debut. 11 points now. 40-21 Blue Devils. Trailblazers looking for a spark. Just having to somehow save that through her legs was Lemus, but gave it to LTU. They'll push in transition. The rhythm continues. This time, Price, the all-time blocks leader in Blue Devil history, does it on the offensive end there. Spinning and diving. Lemus, airballed. That'll spring the Blue Devils once again. It's Buckingham. And it's starting to look easy out there for a team that won 25 games a season ago under head coach Kylene Biggs. Shooting 19 for 32 on the night. A tough contested 3 taken there by Helena Lemus. Out of the reach of Fisher the other way. Ohio Christian starting to look a little bit lifeless now. Kayla Davis checks in. Sophomore point guard from Asheville, Ohio. One of 4 sophomores on Ohio Christian. Will dribble it back up the other way. An 8-0 run for LTU is snapped there. With under a minute to play in the first half, 44-23, LTU now. Landgolf, Fisher, Smith. Landgolf and Fisher, 2 of the guards. What could be a 3-point guard rotation for LTU as Fisher got her own second chance there, maybe a third chance. She saves it. What effort. Found herself open. Cross, high floater, couldn't quite finish there. Pops back out. Here's Smith. And the final shot clock for LTU. Landgolf doubles. Trying to find some kind of reset here. A bit of a frazzled play with under 5 seconds. It's Smith. Around and out. And that'll wrap up a brilliant ending to this first half. A 25-3 run over the last 8 minutes. What a way to finish out the opening half of the opening game of the season. LTU in control. They'll head back to the locker room. Brenda Baker's team will talk things over. 44-23, the Blue Devil lead after 1 half of play on your home for Blue Devils women's basketball. Our first of 15 Blue Devil basketball broadcasts for the women's team. We'll be back after the break here on LTSN. Welcome back to LTSN, our coverage of women's basketball getting underway tonight. Jason Ross Jr. here with you. Kia Titus, producer, and Ali Hadi running the show. A fabulous ending to the first half for this Blue Devil team. Kicking off the 2018-19 year, highly anticipated year that's seen them already ranked number 21 in the NAIA Division II poll to kick things off, and picked second in the WAC poll behind Indiana Tech. That'll be a clash of two colossal programs going head-to-head on December 1st here inside of Don Rudler Fieldhouse. Still a while to go. Beautiful cut, meanwhile, from Buckingham to get the half underway. Blue Devils finished the first half on a 25-3 run over the final 8 minutes. Began to push the pace, began to force turnovers. Kendall Fisher, who isn't on the floor right now, leading LTU in scoring. That was an amazing rhythm that she got into. Dazzling this crowd as a push-off called there. And another turnover will go in the books for Ohio Christian. They've been plagued by turnovers so far in this one, Brenda Baker's squad. Brenda Baker's first game as head coach full-time for this Trailblazer team. Kylene Biggs on the other side with Kaylee Patton. Smith to Banis here as they find some nice movement around the perimeter, but eventually a cut from Banis will get it up off the window and in. 48-23 Blue Devils. It was Caroline Cox, who was a part of kind of the struggle for the Trailblazers in the first half, picking up 3 early fouls with 7 minutes to go in the first half. She had to go to the bench. Dinsmore was a bright spot for the Trailblazers in that opening half, and she drills a triple from the top off an Allen Iverson-esque step back. Dinsmore with 10 now, her first triple of the night. Buckingham off a screen. 18-footer is down the hatch from Nicole Buckingham. 17 points per game last season, a career high. Shot it pretty well, 37% from the field, over 30% from deep. Was the consistent scoring force, and she appears to have what could be a real tag team partner, fun to watch with her and Kendall Fisher this year. Fisher off the floor right now. It's Banis, it's Buckingham, it's Smith, it's Klein and Hansen, the 5 that started things out for the Blue Devils. Smith got off to a nice start, driving there, unable to finish, and a foul called subsequent to that drive. First of 2 games this weekend, first of a back-to-back for the Blue Devils. Point Park comes into town tomorrow for the second game of this Blue Devil Classic. Point Park will face off against University of Michigan Dearborn after this game. We'll have that stream for you. No commentary on that one. And then tomorrow, once again at 4 p.m., Point Park and LTU will face off. And Ohio Christian and Michigan Dearborn will play before that one tomorrow. Blue Devils went 2-0 in the Blue Devil Classic last year. Some nice hustle from O'Connell in the backcourt. Sparks some cheers from that Ohio Christian sideline. Blue Devils beat Point Park last season. We'll look to defeat them for the second year in a row tomorrow. Last year was a 73-50 win on this home floor. It's part of a 2-0 start for LTU. Beat St. Francis, a St. Francis team that was, at the time, ranked 21. That's a spot that the Blue Devils currently have in the NAIA Division II poll. Some tight defense, and the second time we've seen Ohio Christian charged with a traveling violation. This is a Blue Devil team that did it very well on and off the floor last year. A cumulative GPA of 3.57. Crisp ball movement. Off the mark from Klein, who hit a 3 in the first half. We'll see if Ohio Christian can get back into the pace that we saw in the first half, but they won't do it with carrying calls. Dinsmore charged there, and Blue Devils regain possession. off yet another turnover. Driving there, Hanson.
Foul on Ohio Christians, number 13, Katie Thompson. Her third. At the line, shooting 2, number 32, Danielle Hanson.
Hanson shot 61% at the line last season. Buckingham soars in for the offensive board. An open Klein. Off the mark. Blue Devils still looking to get warmed up in this second half, but they've made nice work of the rebounding. Muscling one up and through there, Nicole Buckingham. And Buckingham now with 18 on the night, leading the way for the Blue Devils. It's looked relatively easy for Nicole. She could easily be a player that could average over 20 a game this year for LTU. A nice step back there, one of the go-to moves for Dinsmore on display again, and she'll earn a couple of chances at the line.
That's her fourth.
Dinsmore led this team last year with a shade under 14 points per game to go along with a shade under 5 rebounds per game. Coach Baker said that she is going to look to Stacy for leadership. Bannis pushing the pace. Trailblazers get back, but Hanson pulls. She has the ability to stretch the floor for this Blue Devil team, doing it inside and out. Can open up the floor and open up opportunities. Scoring chances have been plentiful tonight for LTU. Spinning and getting fouled there. O'Connell and the freshman making her collegiate basketball debut will go to the line here out of Pickerington, Ohio. Pickerington North High School. It's the first.
Into the game for the Blue Devils, number 23, Emily Landolf.
Emily Landolf makes her way back in, knocked down a 3 for her first bucket of the season in that first half, had 5 in the opening half. So a 24-point lead for C.J. Bannis and the Blue Devils. Buckingham leading the way, and open Hanson slipping to the cup and finishing. The molecular and cell biology major out of East Lansing, who started every game last season, off to a steady start here. Sporadic drive there from Lemus. The speed of Fisher back out on the floor to Buckingham. Knocks it down. And Buckingham hits the 20 mark. She's got 20 in 20 minutes of play. Conrad pulls at the other end. And that'll leave the Blue Devils with a chance to slow things down and a chance to potentially lead by 30 after this possession. Too much to handle, and here comes Cox. An open 3 in the corner on the way from Lemus. Unable to get the bounce. Potential 3-on-1 brewing here. Fisher, shovel pass, finish. Fisher to Buckingham. Could that be a pleasing connection all season long? Could we be saying that quite a bit as the rainbow 3 drops down from Dinsmore, who has 13 now? Cut to the bucket from Fisher, contested at the rim. Her family in attendance and loving it over near a student section that is filled in very nicely here in the beautiful Don Riddler Fieldhouse. Hope Dollaride and getting set to check in for the Blue Devils. Hope is such a great personality, fun to chat with. I had a chance to speak with her before the game. The junior from Dorr, Michigan at the scores table. Kayla Davis at the scores table for Ohio Christian. Galloping the other way, Landgolf and Open Fisher. Clockwork for this Blue Devil team. And they're up 60-31 in the third. First of a back-to-back for LTU this weekend. Point Park tomorrow in the second of this Blue Devil Classic. WAC play gets underway next Thursday. We have 2 more games for you next week here on LTSN. With Siena Heights coming to town, an early WAC season game before non-conference play picks back up with Wright State Lake on Saturday at 3 p.m. next week. And Great Lakes Christian College will follow that one. And as the Blue Devils look to have success in the non-conference season.
In for the Blue Devils, number 4, Hope Dollaride.
Blue Devil men started their season off 1-0. Plenty of new faces for Josh Pickens, who's very excited about the year. Plenty of familiar faces for this Blue Devil team. There's a familiar face, Nicole Buckingham. Only one newcomer for LTU this year. That's Kendall Fisher. She's guarding the nifty handles of Dinsmore, who tried to slither her way through there, but couldn't quite do it, and then was called for the foul. Dinsmore has been one of the lone bright spots for Ohio Christian in this one. Frustrating start so far for the Trailblazers. The Blue Devils have been in a flow. They have feasted off of turnovers. They have gotten out in transition. Buckingham, she's been hot with 22 points now, leading the way on 11 of 15 shooting. Timeout taken by Brenda Baker. We'll go to another quick breather. We'll be back in just under 90 seconds on LTSN. You're home for Blue Devil Athletics. You're watching Blue Devil basketball, our first of 15 women's broadcast this season. Welcome back to LTSN. A look at head coach Kylene Biggs there in her third season, along with Kaylee Patton, Zach Johnson. Coach Biggs, coming off an excellent season last year, really preaches culture. Started her coaching career directly following her playing days at Tiffin as a graduate assistant. Following a 2-year stint, she was hired as a full-time assistant for Tiffin, starting back in 2011. Left the Dragon family after 8 years at Tiffin to become an assistant coach at Division I Kent State under Danielle Banyan. As Buckingham now has 24, she could be on her way to a 30-point night. Coach Biggs said that they're trying to put in a lot before 2 games this year, which was a bit overwhelming, but they haven't looked overwhelmed tonight. With a 31-point lead in the third quarter, just over a minute to play here in this third quarter. First game of the season for the 21st ranked Blue Devils on the home floor. Another turnover. That's been the reoccurring theme. So is this. 2-on-1. Great pass. Great finish. This time it's Hope Dollaride. Her first points of the season come in transition, giving the Blue Devils what is now a 33-point lead. Fisher defensively. Up to Landgolf. Dollaride trailing her. And one. A release of energy. And the Blue Devils are flowing now. One freshman, 2 sophomores, 4 juniors, and 2 seniors on this year's Blue Devil team, as another offensive rebound off the free throws will certainly displease Brenda Baker, who's looking on from the Ohio Christian sideline, and that'll give LTU what is now the final 10 seconds of this third quarter. A 3 drops from Buckingham. She's got 27, and the Blue Devils have a commanding lead. 69-31 after 3 on LTSN. You're watching Blue Devil basketball. We've got a fun one in store for you. One more quarter to go in the first game of this Blue Devil Classic on your home for Blue Devil Athletics. Welcome back to LTSN. Another good quarter for the Blue Devils, and now they find themselves up 69-31 with 10 minutes to play in this one. First of the season, Landgolf is off to a nice start to the season. She's in double digits with 10. That's a career high now for Emily Landgolf. Had 7 a season ago versus Great Lakes Christian College. So a first game of milestones for this Blue Devil squad. As dancing her way into the lane there went Helena Limas. Nicole Buckingham has 27 right now, currently on the bench. Wonder how many minutes she'll play in this quarter. Her career high is 34. It's Bannis, Landgolf, Smith, Price, and Rooster out on the floor right now for the Blue Devils. A steal there from Dinsmore. She's out there right now with Cox, Thompson, Lemus, and in the corner taking a 3 here is Conrad. Off the mark, a long board will go in favor of the Blue Devils. Frustrating night for Cox, who appeared to be called for Another foul there. I'm going to say it wasn't a foul, just kind of fell off of bounds off of Cox. Picked up 3 fouls early, and that really hurt this Ohio Christian team. One of the leaders, they'll need her on the floor this season. Landgoff could be carving a role for herself. Currently carving to the bucket. Almost finished there through traffic. Here's the pace that worked momentarily for Ohio Christian in this game before things unraveled at the end of the second quarter. And that'll earn a couple of free throws for Lemus here. Her first collegiate game has gone well. She's been active, taking chances, and hoping they capitalize here. Gets the first free throw to drop. .35 LTU lead, fourth quarter. Rooster, book it. First points of the season for Alex Ruster. Cox spins, strips, ball loose. Banis is there. The senior finds Price. And now Banis can push with numbers. Into the corner they go. There's another. 3 from Smith, who started this one. LTU is 9 for 23 from downtown tonight. And they're up 78-37. Dinsmore with 15 now, looking for another. Landgolf had hit 1. Smith will be called for a foul here. She knocked down that 3 in the last possession.
LTU's number 2, Caitlin Smith. That is her third. Into the game for Ohio Christian, number 11, Maddie O'Connell.
O'Connell comes back in for Ohio Christian. Once again, Point Park next up for the Blue Devils tomorrow at 4 p.m. right here on your home for LTU Athletics, the LTU Athletics YouTube channel and Facebook page where we will have games all season long. 4 p.m. tomorrow. Blue Devils will look to improve to 2-0. Currently on their way to 1-0 in cruise control. Price there, those long arms, all-time leader in blocks. Holding her ground there. And now Kylene Biggs can call out the signal. Fisher can take the 3. Off the mark. Back comes Cox. Banis did a nice job there of staying between the bucket and the oncoming Cox. That led to a forced 3-point attempt. And another foul.
Number 23, Elena Lima. Taking into the game for LTU, number 32, Danielle Hansen. And number 23, Lily Langhoff.
Langolf and Hansen come back in for LTU. I mentioned the Blue Devil coaching staff earlier in the broadcast. Kaylee Patton and Zach Johnson also over there on that Blue Devil sideline. And players have such great relationships with this coaching staff. You can really see it when you watch this team kind of behind the scenes. Patton is also an Ohio native. She was actually coached by Kylene Biggs at Tiffin University. Patton played 3 years there at Tiffin as Coming up long in the three-point attempt there is Bannis, but Fisher again there defensively. What a behind-the-back move. What a shovel. Rooster off, but another offensive board. Ruster another chance and another bucket. Blue Devils hit the 80 mark, a team that averaged 74 a season ago.
Timeout taken by Ohio Christian.
Timeout called by Ohio Christian. And we'll go to another breather on LTSN. 80-39, your Blue Devil lead on your home for Blue Devil Athletics with just over 5 to play. Blue Devils in cruise control in game number 1 of the season. We'll be right back here on LTSN. Welcome back to LTSN. 5:04 to play. This is an Ohio Christian team that said before the season started, Carolyn Cox, their junior, one of their leaders, said that there's nowhere to go but up. And after a defeat like this, you'd think that they'll perhaps keep that same mentality. And of course, make adjustments. You'll have another chance at it tomorrow here. And they'll stay the night and face Michigan Dearborn tomorrow. Blue Devils will go up against Point Park. Free throw attempts here from Katie Thompson, the freshman, who's listed at center from Bellefontaine, Ohio. One of the taller players on that Ohio Christian roster at 6 foot. Second free throw is off. Score remains 80-39. Looking down the road at some of the bigger matchups in the season for LTU. Obviously, 1-2 right now. Everyone around the WAC will be looking down the road at that Indiana Tech matchup. Blue Devils certainly can't overlook any WAC opponents. This is a Blue Devil team that was upset by Cornerstone in the final game that was played on this floor last season in the WAC tournament semifinal. Went 12-4 here overall last year as some sporadic play here leads to a layup. Easy scoop coming there from Lemus. First 5 games of the season are at home for LTU. Spinning and hooking there, Hansen. Off the mark with under 4 to play now in a 39-point game. O'Connell loses it. Physical play from Lemus, the strip, and the score in the backcourt.
That's good. 13, Katie Thompson.
Concordia, number 1 in the NAIA Division II poll, as another turnover here leads to a 2-on-1 for Cox. Easy finish, one of the easier finishes of the night for Ohio Christian. They haven't had many opportunities like that. Kylene Biggs making sure her team doesn't lose focus in the tail end here with a commanding lead. 3:05 to play. We'll go to break and be back in just 30 seconds here on LTSN. A look there at Hope Dollaride, the junior, Wayland Union High School. Such a versatile player, one of those players that you can put at different spots on the floor and can stretch the floor. Does it on both ends. Here's Kendall Fisher. She's gotten off to an auspicious start to her Blue Devil career, unable to finish there off a screen from the aforementioned Hope Dollaride. An Ohio Christian team that averaged 64 last season, shot just under a 38% clip, is only shooting 42% from the field tonight, but 18% from downtown. Just 2 of 11 from out there. On the other side, the three-point shot has been a weapon tonight for the Blue Devils, going 8 for 26. They've taken a lot. They've hit them in big moments. Landgolf with a career high tonight, 10 points. She's out on the floor right now. Haven't seen much of Buckingham in this quarter. Suppose they're resting her for tomorrow. She's got 27. Her career high is 34. As Landgolf loses it here. And the turnover's starting to creep in a bit for LTU. Not something that you want to have leak into tomorrow. Full court press here. Landgolf tries to get through it by herself. Did so with a nifty crossover. Got across the timeline and was fouled. Buckingham 1 rebound away from a double-double if she does come back in this one. 27 points and 9 boards. It's an 8-0 run for Ohio Christian over the last 2:14. Their longest run of this game. And just over 3 minutes without a bucket for the Blue Devils on the other side of this. Caitlin Smith tries to end that and does. Momentary stop and play here as looks like something fell out onto the floor. And with a side inbounds, and Ohio Christian will keep possession here. Dinsmore at the top. He's got 15 on 6 of 9 shooting. And gives it up to O'Connell. Tight man-to-man defense has worked for LTU. Steals just like that. Dollaride mentioned her versatility. Reached in there and drew the tie up. Possession will stay with Ohio Christian, but plays like that, with the game already decided, that is a positive for this LTU team, no doubt about it. The mentality of playing a full 4 quarters. They kind of unraveled a bit over the last couple of minutes as Dinsmore is out most likely for the final time as we get into the final 80 seconds of this season opener. Nice inbounds play and a nice finish from Lemus.
Number 23, Elena Lima.
Blue Devils trying to find the offense here in the final few minutes. Ruster down low. Kind of an out-of-control possession, but ultimately ended up in a couple of free throw attempts.
Number 5, Jessica Jablonski. At the line, shooting 2 for the Blue Devils. Number 10, Alex Ruster.
Blue Devils haven't gone to the free throw line much tonight. Just 3 of 5 on the night now. On the other side, Ohio Christian has drawn quite a bit of fouls. They went 11 for 18. But missed, obviously, 7 of those free throw attempts. We saw moments in that first half where Ohio Christian could have perhaps had the lead, but missed out on those free throw attempts as Dollaride will just watch that one go out of bounds, and the Blue Devils retake possession here. Late substitution here. Looks like the freshman Mary Healy will see her first collegiate action from Columbus, Ohio. One of 2 freshmen on this Ohio Christian team. The backcourt pressure keeps up on Klein, who got the start tonight. Well, I woke up today and it was like Christmas morning when I had the email of a media guide, and this team has played with the excitement of Christmas Day, and the fans fed lovely energy all afternoon The Blue Devils will capture a convincing win on the home floor to kick off the season. A 38-point victory, 87-49, your final. And the Blue Devils will be back at it tomorrow at 4 p.m. against Point Park for the second of this Blue Devil Classic. Kylene Biggs, her team gets off to the right start. They'll salute the crowd, a crowd that showed up for this 5 p.m. start. This is going to be fun. This is a team, we saw Kendall Fisher really put on a sparkling debut, dazzling the home crowd. Buckingham with a 27-point night. Didn't play most of the fourth quarter. She'll be one to watch all year long. This Blue Devil team will be one to watch all year long. Picked second in the conference, but they're hoping to take the conference. Another one in non-conference play tomorrow before conference play gets underway next Thursday. It was a pleasure to bring you this one. We'll be back at it tomorrow, 4 p.m. right here on the LTU Athletics YouTube channel. Post-game coverage coming up. And it was a pleasure to be here. Jason Ross Jr. behind the mic. Producer, Kia Titus, Ali Hadi. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Have a wonderful night.